change your thinking, you change your beliefs. That's an absolute fact. When you change your thinking, you change your beliefs. You see, beliefs are nothing more than a byproduct of what you have thought long enough about that you have bought into. Always remember that. So what you believe is something that has been previously continual thoughts that formed themselves to one day it became a belief or it became a conviction. In the book, Thinking for a Change, I open the book with the 5 thoughts that are in your notes right here, because I believe these 5 thoughts absolutely with all of my heart. The first thought is this one. Everything begins with a thought. That's where it all starts. The thought is the originator of anything that happens to us. That's why Emerson said life consists of what a man is thinking about all day. The second thought about thinking is this one. What we think determines who we are. And who we are determines what we do. That's a fact. That's why John Locke said, the actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts. The process is very simple. Thinking, becoming, doing. That's always the process. Thinking, becoming, doing. Third thought that I want to talk to you about in thinking or share with you this day is this. Our thoughts determine our destiny. And our destiny determines our legacy. That's why James Allen would say, you are today where your thoughts have brought you, and you will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. Your thoughts are like a taxi. You get in, and it takes you to where you want to go. Number 4. People who go to the top think differently than others. William Arthur Ward said, nothing limits achievement like small thinking. Nothing expands possibilities like unleashed thinking. And there are basically 2 kinds of people in the world. Those who think in limitations or in smallness, and those who think in creativity and unleash great thoughts within themselves. When I was going to write the book, Thinking for a Change, I sat down with the Time Warner people, as you always do when you get the idea or the concept, and you sit around a table and you bounce it around for a while. And usually I'll give them 3 to 5 pages of form of how the book is going to be conceived, and the concept, the thesis, that whole process. And basically all we're doing at that time is forming it and kind of getting started the best way we can by getting other people's ideas. And when I wanted to write the book in the initial time, I didn't think of the title Thinking for a Change. In fact, that was one of the Time Warner people came up with. I wanted to call the book Thinking Your Way to the Top. Because what I have done is I've identified that there are certain types of thinking that people that go to the top think so differently than people who never get to the top. And by the way, that's what we want. We want to get to the top. And this isn't part of the lesson, but I just want to stop here for a moment and just say, you really want to get to the top. You really want to get to the top. Because I can tell you right now, it's not crowded up there. It really is. It's a wonderful place to be. You got room to stretch. You can run a little bit. You can buy a ranch at the top. At the bottom, it's really crowded. I'm telling you, it is elbow to elbow at the bottom. Everybody's at the bottom. I mean, the mass. But the higher you go, it just gets less crowded. You get on top, and there's just a lot of room. And people that go to the top, they think differently. Because your thinking is the seed of what you're going to become and what you're going to do. And so all change, all I'm saying here is all change begins with thinking. If you change your thinking, you'll change your beliefs. If you don't change your thinking, you won't change your beliefs. So I want to believe something differently. It starts there. Now, one more thought about thinking. And that is, we can change the way we think. Paul said it better than anybody. What did he say? He said, whatsoever things are true, noble, just, pure, lovely, or of good report, if there is any virtue, if there is anything praiseworthy, he said, think on these things. Now, that verse is a great verse to me, because what basically it says, you can think on what you want to think upon. If you want to think on things of pure, lovely, wonderful, virtue, of all good report, he said, you can think on those things. He said, basically, you choose what you think upon. The first book I ever wrote, I wrote back in 1979, and I called the book Think on These Things. And it came right out of this verse, because I truly believe that if you think on the right things, you'll be successful. If you think on the wrong things, you won't be successful. And you can go to the success or the unsuccessfulness of a person. You can literally trace it back to how they think. So, let me give you an example in your notes. The number one challenge to make personal changes. You know what the number one challenge to make personal changes? First of all, let me stop here for a moment. How many of you are in favor of making good personal changes in your life? Huh? Very good, sir. That's unanimous. How many of you are in favor of making a lot of personal changes in the people's lives that you lead? Yeah, that's really okay. Yeah, let me give you a whole list on that one. Okay, we're really into that. You talk about passion now. We're passionate about that one. Okay. You know what the number one challenge to make personal changes is? Are you ready? Feelings. How you feel. If you do not make personal changes in your life, can I tell you right now, it is because you have some feeling that dominates you. Maybe it's a feeling of insecurity. I mean, I can give you 27 types of feelings, but feelings is what keeps us from making personal changes in our life. So let me talk to you about that. Let me give you a major premise. Let me give you a minor premise. And let me give you a conclusion. The major premise is this. I can control my thoughts. That's a fact. Anybody that's ever studied thinking basically will tell you, yes, you can control your thoughts. Now, if that's true, the minor premise is that my feelings come from my thoughts. Feelings, again, are birthed out of what you think. So the conclusion is, I can control my feelings by controlling my thoughts. Because few people control their thinking, they fail to control their lives. Gordon MacDonald is a wonderful writer. I've read about everything he's written. And he has something called mental flabbiness, and there's a paragraph in there. Let me just give it to you. In our pressurized society, people who are out of shape mentally. I love that phrase, don't you? They're out of shape mentally. We talk about, man, look at him. He's out of shape physically. Oh, look at that body. They're out of shape physically. You know what I run to? I run to people out of shape mentally all the time. They're just out of shape mentally. Now, MacDonald says, people who are out of shape mentally usually fall victim to ideas and systems that are destructive to the human spirit and to human relationships. They are victimized because they have not taught themselves how to think, nor have they set themselves to the lifelong pursuit of the growth of the mind. Not having the facility of a strong mind, they grow dependent upon the thoughts and opinions of others. Rather than deal with ideas and issues, they reduce them to lives full of rules, regulations, and program. Boy, that's a tremendous statement. So I would encourage you to think the following. Just giving you an outline of my book now, okay? You still have to buy it. You understand this? It's just an outline. Think big picture. This allows you to see beyond yourself. Think focused. This allows you to remove distractions. Think creatively. This allows you to get out of your box of limitations. Think realistically. This allows you to have a foundation for change. Think strategically. This allows you to have a plan for change. That's what this lesson's all about. Think possibilities. This allows you to look for and receive the best, and think reflectively. This allows you to gain a true perspective of yourself. And in your notes, although not all change is the same, there is one common element to change, and that is thinking. That is a great truth. That's not mine. It's out of a book called The 7 Levels of Change. The one common element to change is thinking.